Here we go. If there's anyone in the room, let me know. It may take me a minute to get your message. I may have to go about this a different way. Let's see here. If you guys can see me and you can hear me, go ahead and say something in the room so I know that we're good to go. I'd hate to continue this and then end up not having anyone be able to hear me or see me or whichever. And if you're saying things and it's not coming up in the chat, I'm not sure why that would be. Oops, I just did that wrong. Let's try again. Try again. There we go. Hey, welcome. Now, I'm not sure why it's doing this. It keeps telling me to do something and then it stops the streaming thing. Oh, I know why. Just one sec. I've got to let myself in. There we go. Do you guys hear an echo? Like you're hearing me speak twice? Because I hear an echo when I go to speak. Wow, it's way behind on stream. Interesting. Okay, well that's a bonus. And if you don't hear an echo, then I'm not going to worry about it. That works for me. Cheers for all the half moon portals going on. Are you guys feeling the energies yet or not? I sure am. Like, holy crap. I am just saying. There's a lot of judgment going around and a lot of judgment being placed on others and a lot of things happening that are triggering people, which only means, of course, that we have things inside us that need to be worked on and healed through and walked through, all that good stuff. Yeah, I think there's almost a 30-second delay from when I speak something to when it actually comes through. I'm not sure why exactly that is. It's kind of crazy, to be honest. Like, I don't really get it myself, but yeah, a lot of judgment. And therefore, all of that judgment, the problem is that we take the judgment and then put it down on ourselves, when the reality of the scenario is we should be loving ourselves through it, you know? And it's not an easy thing to do. I've had like I had I can't even speak properly. Oh my goodness, because the amount of change, the amount of new understanding that's come, the truths that have come out. Isn't it terrible, don't you think, when people try to, I understand why they do it, and it triggers something massively in me. But I have to remember that not everybody is the same as I am, and therefore compassion is necessary. The biggest thing I find is that when I'm dealing with people, why can't they just be straightforward and honest about the truth of what's going on? Because I don't know about all y'all, but I'd rather be hurt by the truth any day than be hurt by lies that someone trying to protect me from what they think is going to hurt. Because I usually find out and then get hurt because one is lied to and hurt because it happened. I'd rather just be hurt because it happened, you know? Yeah. And a lot of times I wouldn't normally go about finding out the truth. I would just sit there in knowledge and knowing that I know what's going on. I feel what's going on, so therefore I do. But in taking a logical approach and actually putting myself in the situation of seeing is believing, it gave me an opportunity to look at options, taking things in a logical approach and understanding that my feelings are my feelings, and to have compassion as to why people do things, but to also have compassion for myself, to not, you know, fall into the type of scenario where my emotions are going to be upheavaled in a massive way. Oh yeah, this is, something's off, something's really off, massive confusion. But like taking a logical approach over the emotions, it's like, do I take a head over heart approach? What do I do? What's the best way forward? And there's a whole lot of illusion and confusion. Yeah, it's been an interesting week. Oh, I agree with you 100%, Ange, 100%. And it's not just fake news out in the public, it's fake news in our friendships and our relationships too. See the toxicity and what we believe is going to bring wish fulfillment. Using logic to help decipher what is off and hidden or whatever, when your heart is all up in arms, your emotions really trying, there's massive alignment of the chakras is what I get from these cards here. There is so much fake news about the world we live in, fake news about what's happening regarding disease, fake news about what relationships you're in that are healthy, you feel are healthy, and that awareness is all going to come to the forefront. There's a, as I pull the Queen of Pentacles and Victory next. So there's a whole bunch of energy here of truths that need to be spoken, because it's like the public already knows the truth. So, and in your relationships, you intuitively already know the truth. And it is a victory. So do we have to have it spoken? No, we don't. But then when you pull back your energy from whatever circumstance, situation you're dealing with, people start to wonder why you've pulled back your energy. It's this whole thing about fear of missing out is so very real. I would like to ask you guys, what if whatever they're saying, not even well, the news, the media, the people that other people listen to online about stuff that's going on, about families, about everything else, are you guys actually prepared to have what you think is right or wrong or you're indifferent about be changed absolutely and completely? Are you prepared for that? Well, I want to say that being you feel you're on a higher level, do you feel you were brought into this soul connection, but do you feel you were brought in this relationship to be a teacher, a student, or to love this person? Or did you start off in the love category and then realized your path next? The reason I say that is there's a toxic environment for everybody going on all levels of life, all levels of society, that have to do with head over heart and internal or 3D world, what you're seeing out in front of you, energy. So if you view the energy as toxic, then I would slightly suggest that you let it go. But how do you do it gently? I don't know if there's any such gently. If you're dealing with an air sign, they'll take it logically. If you're dealing with a water sign, they might pretend all's well and go home and plan your demise and not do anything about it. If you're dealing with a Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus, they may very well be hurt and in areas where it could affect their emotional stability, their financial stability. So you've got to take it as it comes. But standing up and saying your truth is always the best way to go, whether it's going to hurt someone or not, because I guarantee you they are going to feel happier being hurt by the truth than they will be hurt by a lie. My only thinking is that they very well might not believe you. Oh no, you're just saying that because you want out or whatever. Why would they be saying that? That's what I'm getting. It's going to take great strength to just come out with it and say it like you believe it to be. Yeah, great strength. We have the death card here to put an ending to something. See, is there a third party or you met someone else? I bet that's the emotional thinking of you're not good enough. Well, let's be logical and rational here. First of all, this doesn't work and that doesn't work. And the fact that that's the first place you go, that's an issue. Yeah, Capricorn. Yeah. But the Wheel of Fortune is on your side. It means a time of absolute positive change. Hanging out with your friends, enjoying a couple of drinks, doing the new thing. The thing is, now I see that there will be a victory here at the end, and we have the Wheel of Fortune. But what is the fear? What is your fear coming up about telling them the truth about how you feel? What is the fear? And that is what's being triggered within you. Look at that, the fear, all right. The Moon card, more going on here than meets the eye. I actually broke up with someone once over text, someone I loved very much. And then they held it against me because I never broke up with him in person. Biggest reason I didn't break up with him in person was because I knew they wouldn't let me go. And I didn't think I'd have the guts to let him go in person. That's the biggest reason. The secondary reason was that I used to justify why I didn't do it in person was because the whole COVID thing had just started and I wasn't allowed near his house or his property. So how did he suspect I should go talk to him about it? You see what I'm saying? So be careful of what you use to justify how it is you do something. Some will justify just pulling back and creating emotional fuckery by pulling their energy back and having a slow letting go process. They'll justify it that way, but that causes an intense amount of pain. If I was you, I would just do it in a way that you state what you have to say. You listen to what they have to say. It's going to take bravery, of course. Are you going to be in front of this person? So you want to have some fun. They're going to hold on tight. And them holding on tight is going to create a heavy burden for you. So then my question is, if you want to be wined and dined again and there's no romance, just tell them it's over. Well, there's a whole lot of that going on in the world right now. As within, so without, as above, so below. You'll pretend like it's all okay, but we're all upset. Does that not resonate? This is Pluto energy here in retrograde yet, going very, very deep within, pulling up, and at hard aspect to Neptune. This week is going to be a tremendous, tremendous week for a lot of people. It's not necessarily going to be easy by any stretch of the imagination. And facing truths about yourself, it's very important to do. And it might even be a matter of saying, hey, like, this is how I feel. I know it might be shallow. I know it might seem like I have options. I know it might seem like I'm afraid of committed love. I know it might seem like an ending is just so I can go out and party. And then they'll say logically, well, you never loved me in the first place. And say, well, actually, my problem was I did love you in the first place, but I did not come into full alignment and love with myself first. That's a very good way to put it. And so on this next journey that you're going to take, it has something to do with you wanting to feel desired, wanting to feel good enough, wanting to feel cherished, held, wined and dined, but go out and have some fun. Is there lack of money in the situation? Or are they the type of person that feels there need to be balance in everything? So someone has lots of money and one person has lack of money. So you see, you have to take it as it comes with you there. Let's get you a 7 energies oracle card. I sometimes wonder within myself, and this is part of what I feel my issue is as to why I don't feel so proud of myself a lot of the times, or feel I'm the greatest, you know, and whatever, because I go about doing something and I sit there and say, oh, this higher, I'm higher, or I'm in a different vibration than they are, I'm this, I'm that. I sit there and go, am I really? Does it have anything to do with that? Or is it just the simple human condition that I'm hurt and I'm tired? And sometimes the best way to move away from something and towards yourself is to admit that you're broken to somebody, or not broken, whichever. What's the word of broken our mind would say, you know. So anyway, I could go on and on about this forever. If you want a clear, conscious way to move from your heart, the best thing to do is to put your mind aside. Say, heart, how do I feel? If your mind comes in and tries to use old words to explain what your heart feels, don't let it. If your mind would say, my heart feels heavy, say, no, my heart just feels full of so much love. in some sort of way, it's like your heart has itchy feet. Roots of Abundance is the card I pulled for you. I read this previously. It's been coming out quite a bit. I'll read it to you. Card number 2. Oops. This card signals you to pay attention to how you are anchored in the story of your life. I think that's what we were just talking about. Trust that you will be taken care of. The world is full of limitless potential and will nourish you according to your beliefs. Regardless of temporary outer conditions, you are not a victim of life. Life happens for you, not to you, even if something sometimes slip into the way of thinking. If you are grounded and internally steadfast, nothing can uproot you, and you have the ability to manifest your intentions with ease. The message here is simple. Your life is safe and secure, and your intentions are coming to fruition. All your hopes and dreams are firmly grounded and taking root so that you can reach for the stars in your life and expand your dreams further than you can imagine. Everything in the material world is a reflection of the interior world. See, unless you go ahead and deal with the energy that in this relationship is making, is the energy that you're taking on as wanting to split so you can be wine and dined again, that'll happen in the next relationship as well. Except it may be the reverse. You could be wined and dined and have fun and all that sort of thing. But then maybe it's a person who doesn't necessarily want to be committal. So you have to look at within and where's the balance within you. You are unstoppable and unshakable because you believe that you are abundant. Know that you can easily move from merely surviving to thriving when you pay attention to staying grounded. If you find yourself in ungrounded thinking, now is the time for radical trust. Growth never follows a straight line. You will manifest what you need when you need it. A tall, healthy tree doesn't need to hold on to the ground for dear life. It knows it will not fly away with the wind because its roots are planted deep in the earth. So you see, you're building roots of abundance here right now, and you're very abundant, but yet you're feeling lack in the fun zone sector side of your situation, is what I'm getting. So how can we best move forward? Well, yes, the person is a deep soulmate, very deep connection. But unless you can come at them or come at yourself as a new person, which new experiences can help you do, find your value, make you feel valued, have more fun. They can make you do that. But unless that's what happens, there's still going to be a heavy burden carried. So, yeah, there's that. Just tell them. Just go ahead and tell them. Tell them where you're at. Tell them how you feel. You might be surprised to find out he feels very similar. The roses kiss. It's about enjoying life as it is. Stop and smell the roses. Let the beauty in. There's some sort of luck coming to you or something. It's really about stopping to smell the roses and enjoying the beauty. It's almost like you're going to feel like your life has been kissed by the divine. So I'm not going to say that you're not led in the trajectory you're led in for absolutely good reason. I feel you are. But how you slightly let go of someone easily, I don't know if there isn't easy. Yeah. Yeah, you do. Yes, you've got this. You know you've got this. Dearest you, we bet you must be so exhausted some days, giving as much as you do, sharing your energy so beautifully in service to the highest good, can leave you feeling depleted, like an empty well. If it feels as if there's no water for you, the good news is we have a plan. Today, go take a relaxing bath, book a massage, read a novel, buy yourself flowers, or plant some in your garden. Make time for self-care, not more work on yourself. By tending to yourself now, you are reminded to do so more often. And be sure to use a word that might have caused you anxiety in the past, but is essential for well-being now. No. Say it with us. No. No, thank you. No, I can't. You do not have to explain. Just say no, gently but firmly. Then go for a soak. Life will wait for you to bring yourself back to center, replenished and ready for more adventure. We love you so very much. Is there anyone else in the room that would like a reading or like to have anything or say anything? This week between the full moon eclipse we had on the 26th and the June 10th eclipse or new moon eclipse that we're going to have, there's a whole lot of portal energy, the exit and the enter, and I want to say that being Mercury's retrograde, that there's a whole lot of miscommunication. There's a whole lot of people not understanding what's going on and why. There's a whole lot going on behind the scenes as well. And it's time to really, I think the best thing what you could do in these circumstances is to focus on you and to try and find a balance between what it is that you feel, think, exist in, desire, all of those things. Try and find a balance within in that energy, because the energy is freaking intense. You're welcome. Yeah, protection and inner peace. You are being protected, absolutely. There's like, look at this tree. The storm that's raging, it cannot penetrate any part of this tree or you under the tree, finding solace and protection. The divine has got you here. See, and inner peace. I think that's the biggest thing that we all need is some inner peace. If you're in a situation that keeps you in the struggle, then perhaps that's what you're after more so than the being wined and dined, is perhaps the inner peace. Could be there's some conflict with many people between, am I protected? Can I move forward? Will I have inner peace as I do? Whatever's being eclipsed out of your life right now, it's for divine reason, and it's time to honor it. Honor it. There will be people coming back around because there's leftover energy of something in a circumstance or situation. And as they do come back around, understand it's not necessarily for anything other than healing purposes. But it seems there's a lot of protection going on right now, and the ethers, the divine, whoever's out there for a highest good is really trying to bring us to a place of inner peace, because right now what's going on in the world, we are facing a lot of things, and it's all, I believe, for the betterment, for the bettering of our world as a whole, as a society as a whole. Let's read these protection. Guardian Oak. Does that show properly? No. The sacred landscape wants you to know one of the most potent signs on the sacred landscape is the ancient oak. It carries numerous meanings. You are protected. You can weather anything. Your roots go deep. You are brave, and you can survive anything. Stand strong. You carry the energy of a leader, and you have great authority in life. Great wisdom is expanding within you, and others sense this. This card can also mean to protect your assets. Take care to guard and protect your home, your loved ones, and yourself. Let's read Inner Peace. Lily Pond. Simply sitting next to a lily pond, watching the dragonflies soar overhead, and looking at the luminous lily pads floating gently on the water, while their translucent flowers open their petals to the heavens, can fill one with the scene of profound and everlasting peace. Lilies grow in many countries and have been given a wide range of meanings. However, one enduring image of the lily is the notion that out of the darkness and mud arises a thing of immense beauty and grace. No matter how much darkness there has been in your life, you can rise into enlightenment and profound tranquility. The sacred landscape wants you to know inner peace is your birthright. Tranquility occurs when you realize that your life is unfolding according to divine planning. Serenity isn't something you have to work for or search for. It already exists within you. To find this inner peace, simplify your life, spend time in nature, and listen to the message of your soul. True peace transcends fear and connects you intimately to the Creator. Breathe deeply and fully, knowing that all is well. Yeah, there's a mass amount of protection here right now. So it's important to remember that the divine is around, all around. The divine is permeable, just like love is permeable. Well, that's a whole lot to go ahead and talk about what it means for everyone, different things about it. I can tell you that whatever you've been putting off dealing with in the depths of your soul is coming up to be revisited. And I can tell you that there is a lot of energy of people saying they're going to do one thing and then it changes. I can also tell you that there's a whole lot of reason to hope and a whole lot of reason to have faith in the times and the situations that we're in. I believe there's a lot of harsh aspects with these eclipses right now. There's favorable ones too. It all comes one day one way and the next day the next way. The next day the next way. And eclipses are just basically an energetic portal opening for the old to leave and the new to come in, or for the old to leave and then regress and come back. So it can all happen within a 3-day span. You might think things are all fine and dandy and hunky-dory, and then all of a sudden it's like they're not. And then within 24 hours after that, they are. You see? So eclipse energy is very hard for so many to maneuver. So many. Including myself. And I'm not an astrologer by right. I don't study it. You know, it's not something I study particularly. I do know that the energies, it's very frenetic. It's like before a storm. It's like you feel something's coming. You feel this energy of shift. And I think the biggest thing I've been dealing with myself is my own self. What I think about myself, what I believe about myself, what's true, what's not true. Does any of it matter in the first place? These are things that I think that's going on for me. So yeah. And being my ruling planet is in Mercury, even though I was born during Mercury retrograde, my thinking's not all that clear right now. Like I can have 1,000 things go through my mind and pick out one of them to share. And it's almost like a feeling stopped up mentally so that you have to deal with what's in the emotional realm. You have to. It's like we're in Neptune in Pisces right now. The only thing anyone very well may be assured of is their connection to the divine. And even while you're assured of that, you then at times are really going to wonder right now if the divine has your back. So I think there's a lot of asking for clarity. There's a lot of demanding clarity, to be honest, going on with these eclipses through every aspect of your life, in each certain thing, every circumstance. I think one of the biggest things to remember is to not be too hard on yourself. I really need to take that into account. To trust that you are on this path for divine reason. I want to say it's almost like a burning of what you thought you knew in a fire while the truth is presented. And as the truth is presented and you see the paper burning in the fire, what you thought you knew is true, or it could be a relationship, it could be a business, it could be whatever it is for you, whatever, your belief in spirit, your whatever. As it's burning in the fire, you might want to reach in and grab it, even though the reaching back in is going to cause pain. We're going to go through this third time around pull and situation. I believe it's in December. This is affecting mutable signs right now the most. Like I said, I'm not an astrologer. It's just what I've heard and listened to and read. If you would like to know more about all of the astrology of it, there's many people on YouTube that can tell you. But I'd say the 5 most things I would like you to do from now till the next eclipse on June 10th is 1, keep an open mind. And this is the rhetoric to say to yourself to help keep an open mind. I don't know what happened yesterday. I don't know what's happening now. I don't know what will happen. All I do know, and that I am firm in, is that I am a human being living a spiritual existence on a beautiful planet, and I'm here to co-create with others around me. When someone says, well, what do you think about that? It's perfectly okay to say, I don't know. They may say, well, what do you think is going to happen with this? Or have you got your shot yet? Or have you this, have you that? Say, I don't know. I don't know what to think or what to make of any of it. Well, surely you must have an opinion. My head might have an opinion, but I'm not so sure my heart agrees. This is very much this eclipse energy. My head might have an opinion, but I'm not so much sure that my heart agrees. My head is trying to ease my heart and ease my emotions, but it's just not working because there's this thing, you see, this thing, this higher emotional idea that I've had for myself that I really want to move towards. And my head is trying to stop me because, oh no, this might be the best it's ever been. This might be this if you do this thing that your heart might be leading you towards, if you do this thing, how's that going to feel on the outset? That's what your head is trying to protect your emotions, but it's in a fight or flight way. And there's not a necessity for our head to protect our emotions from fight or flight. If you want to do a meditation, I've talked about this before on the channel, a meditation where you sit there and you picture mirrors all around you, but facing outward. So if people were all standing around you in a circle, they'd be facing you with their looking at the mirrors, and you would be in the center. This is an energy test to find out if the energy you're feeling is your energy or others people's energy. Because as those mirrors go up and you actually sit there just with yourself and you don't have the interference of all of the other energies, can you feel where your heart is at? Take a deep breath or 2 and just feel where your heart is at. You may have this thing where this tangible proof here in the 3D where this stuff comes out of your eyes to show how full your heart has been. You may have this experience where there's this feeling of your heart like concaving in on itself, but that's only because you're allowing the love that it's held so much of to flow out. It's like a lot of people's emotions, their hearts, their and even physically as well, have been stretched to the max. And there's only so much a human heart can hold. But then, is it actually the human heart I'm talking about? Or is it the spiritual heart? I don't intrinsically believe that anybody is broken. I don't believe that people are broken open either. I think those are very old terms, and we need to let our mind do the appropriate work to bring new terms to where our heart is at. And I think if we really get honest with ourselves, a lot of times our heart is in the place of, I don't know. I don't know where I'm at. Can you get comfortable in the not knowing and still feel grounded in the airy energy of the unknown, being grounded in spirit, grounded in source? I don't necessarily believe in, this is just me, I've found, don't believe in rooting my chakra down into the earth to have its roots go into the earth, because Gaia is a living being in herself. And I feel that she's going through so many changes, and will be very soon as well, more changes. And you're going to then intrinsically feel all those changes at a biomechanical level, a biomagnetical level, signature. That's a good word, signature. So if you pull up your root chakra and allow yourself to be you, all whole, complete, and grounded in who you are, and grounded in source, and grounded in spirit, trusting that when tears fall from your eyes, that it's not necessarily about pain, it's not necessarily about gratitude, perhaps it's just the way right now your heart is speaking, your inner soul is speaking. It's a tangible form from your body of the energy your spirit is holding. Yeah, I like that. That's good. Well, I can tell you the weather sure has been affecting my body. Like the amount of pain that I feel in my body, the amount of, I go to get up from a chair or whatever, and I've been fine all day, and I'm so stiff, like I can, barely move forward. And then all of a sudden it starts to rain outside or something, and I'm fine. So it's a barometric pressure changes. This is why I'm talking about the changes Gaia is going through. So in your meditations, try and ground yourself in spirit and in source. Use crystals if those speak to you. Use whatever speaks to you. But source, spirit, the divine, angels, God, whatever you want to call them, whatever resonates for you, your guides, your counsel, whatever. They are all here for your highest good and to see you along your life path. I am of this earth, but am I therefore? I'm from this earth, but therefore am I of it? And I kind of wonder sometimes if this grounding energy that we do to ground ourselves, how we've used this idea of rooting yourself into Gaia, how much stress that's actually put, not just on the planet, but if everybody did that and their root chakra all grounded through Gaia, I mean, then you're sharing energy with people that are not even, maybe people you'd want to share energy with, So grounding yourself, and I've said this since last April, you've got to ground yourself in the airy energy that is source, divine, is spirit. Because to me, that's where we listen to our guides to bring us messages, some people call them downloads. I believe if it's something you intrinsically already learned here, it's actually an upload from your DNA, something you've already known, but now you know it at a level. It's like going down into a deep night of the soul, not a dark night of the soul, a deep night of the soul, going down deep, grabbing your ancestors by the hand and pulling them up with you so that nobody has to be there and that's all they learned, that you are bringing that to here. It's like getting the energy of hitting the, you get this all figured out and everybody has a massive awakening, but they all forget to push the save button. And then they go through life, and what happens? Their work is their thoughts, their work, their whatever is like, they'd say, oh, I just feel crappy again. I just feel the way I was feeling. And I felt so good initially. It's like, well, get yourself back to the way that you were just feeling when you didn't hit the save button, because that's hitting the save button. Hitting the save button is just a moment in time that you can take yourself back to, where you realize that you have actually learned something and remembered how it felt. You know, that's what hitting the save button is. So when you start to resonate in a new way with yourself and with others, hit the save button. We start to feel glee and joy and bliss, hit the save button. Because then you can remember, oh yeah, right, I hit the save button. Now that means I can go back to that feeling. Because we forget a lot of time what beauty feels like, what greatness feels like, what good feels like. It's very prevalent in our world and in ourselves to remember what pain feels like, what other people's opinions feel like, what all of those fears within us feel like. It's very easy to go there because it's very hard sometimes to believe the beauty than it is to believe the fears and the things that have held us for so long. So I hope all of this helps, but this is how I try and remember things. It's like, when was the last time I felt good? And a lot of times I can't remember when I hit the save button last, but I'll go to an event that brought me absolute joy, giddiness joy, and I'll go there. And then sometimes going there, it almost brings up a welling of my body, that my soul is putting energy out in the form of tears. And I don't know whether that's happy or sadness, but it is what it is. Do you see what I'm saying about losing the labeling on yourself as to I'm sad, I'm glad, I'm hurt, I'm angry, I'm broken, or I'm broken open? We use all of these terms and all of these things to explain our spirits and our emotion. And if you like to do that, you can absolutely go and do that. But I like to parent my mind and tell my mind not to give me words to what I'm feeling or my emotions unless it's being put in a different way. Because when we stay on the old verbiage and the old trajectory, it's like word vomit of believing the old shit and never transcending upwards. You've got to parent your mind to transcend where your soul is going. Don't let your mind have a say in things unless it's creating something. Okay, let's figure something out, mind. How could we create this? Okay, that's where your mind belongs, in the creativity energy of things. Your mind does not exist so that when you have an intuitive nudge, you can take that and stick it all in your insecurity boxes. You might get angry, you might get frustrated, and that's it, I'm done. You know, but then it's like, the reality is 2 days later, a day later, you're like, well, nothing really went wrong. I was just like kind of pissed off, you know. Do you see what I'm saying? So we take that nudge intuitively that something's going on, and then we take our worst fears, the fight or flight. Our mind takes the worst fears, our fight or flight, and says, this is happening, this is happening, this is happening, and this is happening. And it sets off a trajectory of pain that we're all very comfortable with, but it's the only way to feel control. And that is why we have the differences and the issues between fight or flight within our head and within our emotions. And I don't want to live that way anymore. I don't know about all y'all, but I'd really rather not live that way. So that's what I have for you today. If you're in the room and you've enjoyed watching this and you haven't hit the like button yet, please do hit the like button. It helps other people get the message. Is there anyone else that would like a tarot reading for $10? If not, I completely understand. I think it would be really awesome to understand with the way the world is right now, that when someone talks about how they think the world is, say, oh yeah, it could be some of that. And when someone else says, well, actually, I think it's this way, say, yeah, it could be some of that. Because honestly, I don't know that any human brain on this planet can actually quite fully understand the powerful changes that are coming. And in staying in the energy of, I think it could be some of this and some of that and some of that and some of that, puts you on an even keel of understanding balance. And we don't need to figure it all out. We need to live in faith and trust that we absolutely are taken care of by the divine. Let's pull a postcard from Spirit to wrap this up. Okay, Ange. I'm still going to pull a postcard from Spirit, and then we'll do Ange's reading. Dearest you, there are times when loss is part of life. Sometimes the loss is welcome, like when you leave a situation not in alignment with your highest good. Sometimes the loss is sudden and painful, like when a loved one crosses over to our dimension. Regardless of the nature of the loss and your control over it, your experience is asking to be acknowledged. Tears are necessary, as is grief. When you repress the natural expression of loss and try to move on too quickly, the unprocessed pain haunts you in a destructive way. We don't want that for you. Instead, let your heart break open. See, here's the old words and old phrases, you see. Let your heart open wide. Feel all of the love you have had flowing out of you into the eternal consciousness so that it can be integrated with others. See the beauty that is, the lessons yet to be learned, the lessons that are learned, and know that as you let go and receive what is and ever more of you remains. It gets better, we promise. Your heart expands with more compassion for the world than ever before. Love heals all. Yeah. How many times, I don't know how many times I've actually sat here and thought, I have got to rewrite these cards with the new energy that I have and the understanding that I have. Like, I've literally thought that. I need to rewrite these cards. Okay, Ange, I got your payment. Thank you. I'll wait for your question. I had one friend telling me that I was basically now a mutant robot. I had another friend tell me that if I didn't get vaccinated, that like I wasn't allowed in their house. And I've been telling everybody that it's not about who does what or whichever. It's about everybody's belief as it stands. And they were like, how can you say it doesn't matter? Because I'm not dealing with the 3D world realm right now. I'm dealing with the spiritual realm. And the spiritual realm says everything that's happening is for our absolute highest good. The choices that people make are absolutely going to take them on their path, and to trust that whatever comes along your path and the decisions that you make, regardless of why you make them, that the divine has control, that you are okay, you are protected, there is divine light, you can have peace within, all of these things. But I feel, even though there's so many people not watching the media, rightly so, they're watching other forms of media to hear what resonates with them. Some people are going so far off the mark. They're like, this whole astrology thing, God thing, or whatever was just like a program put in there, you know, to have people, you know, focus on something differently. And in that case, I say, well, thank God. Thank God there was that program put in here in place for us to focus on, to help us take the steps through every day. Because I can't imagine living this life without having something here in the 3D to co-create with the divine. I can't imagine. I don't think any of us can even imagine the things that are going to happen in the future or in the near future. I mean, it's some of this, it's some of that, it's some of all the everything. And the only energies that be that know, you know, is the divine. And if people feel there's no divine and they're just living this life because they're born here, I'm like, well, then what purpose do you have for living this life that you're born here? Just to envelop every moment that I live here and just live. Well, how many times have we in a spiritual community heard that, to embrace the now, about all of the timelines collapsing right into the now? There's no other moment in time than the now. It is all encompassed into the now. So how far off are they? They might not use all of these mental processes and spiritual things and whichever else to come to the belief that they just are here to live in the now. But that's what we're all trying to do too. This is why I'm saying it's some of one, it's six of one, half a dozen of the other. And in some way, shape, or form, it all combines a beautiful created thing that we're all here to take part of. So this is why I don't sit there and point fingers at a person's belief, because I can see the beauty in their belief. I don't point fingers at religious people because I can see the beauty in their belief. I don't point finger at agnostic people. No, all there is the now. We're all fucked here and blah, 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 blah. Well, you know, a lot of people feel that way. They're not far off, are they? See what I'm saying? Some of everything. And when you can take your place from yourself to a place of loving from divine energy, it's not about the ideas, it's not about the who's right, who's wrong, all these circumstances. It's about living in the now. It's about being a person here that is to wake up in the morning, apparently, and decide that day where they're gonna sprinkle some co-creative magic. That's all it comes down to. So many people don't have control over whatever is going to happen. Some do, some don't. There's some of this, some of that. See what I'm saying? I don't think any of us have any clue at how big of a deal all of this is. I don't think any of us have any clue. And those of the naysayers that say it's so bad and there's so much evil and there's so much this is, yes, but there's also so much good and so much beauty. It's, you see what I'm saying? Now, evil and good, they're all one conversation because they're all on the same end of the stick. Just saying. That's just how I view things. I guess that's how I can come to a place of having for the most part, a nonchalant, as I have been told recently, to a very nonchalant attitude about what's going on in the world. There's that. And did you have a specific question? Okay, question is about, will I have support I need? Ask for my, read that, for my challenges. Of course you will. I don't need to pull tarot cards on that, but of course you will, absolutely. And you'll know at any given time what you're supposed to do. And you might not think you do, but you will. And I promise you, in hindsight, when you look back on whatever situation you're going through, you're going to be like, oh, damn, I'm so glad I didn't do what I was going to do. Oh my God, I'm so glad I did that. You see? So it's all about absolute 100% radical trust and radical faith that we're all where we're supposed to be at. Halo just spoke the truth. Yes, it's a challenging beginning. It truly is. But the fact that we are here, we came into this world to be here for this, says something about us. It says something about who we are. All of us on this planet, the good, the bad, the ugly, the gorgeous. It's a crown. The divine brings this sword to a person who gets a victory. And the victory forward is in taking your truth and your knowledge and what you believe, that there can be love for all, regardless of their thoughts, regardless of their mind creating fight or flight, regardless of their hope or their hearts or their soul just simply creating all love and light. It's all here for a divine reason. You cannot have one without the other. You can't have, the good without the bad, and you can't have the other. I mean, Abraham Hicks talks all the time about love, hate. There's no difference between love and hate. They're all part of the same conversation. Do they vibrate differently? I don't know. It's felt really good to hate somebody that I actually love. It's felt really good to. Just like it feels really good to love somebody that you hate, because you walk on an egoic stance. So you see what I'm saying? This Ace of Swords is about a whole lot of truths coming out and seeing the truth of a situation and scenario where maybe you would have given yourself, other people, the government, the whomever, the benefit of the doubt. The point is, regardless of what any truth you have, I guarantee you the person that walks past you on the street very well may have a different one. We're not here to battle against people's truths. We're not here to battle against what's right and what's wrong. We're here to battle and understand for people to actually finally get it, that love is the way forward. I'm not talking about love in relationship of one man and a woman, or however you swing. Don't judge. No shade thrown. I'm just saying it's love on a level of divine love. How do you do that when you end up hurt in the process? Or do you? Is that a mind thing? Mind, mentality? We're all coming into a new way of how we think, how we grow. I've told so many of my friends that you've got to get yourself out of this egoic battle in media, in thought, in all of these things that is going on the earth right now. You've got to get yourself out of it. And they're like, well, you need to take a stand. And I said, did you take a stand? When was the last time you took a stand? I take a stand for the divine. I know the divine's got us all. No ifs, ands, or buts, whatever's coming down the pike. Whoever the divine is, whoever it is, I think we're all here for a reason. You can do as you choose, and I'll do as I choose, but it doesn't make us innately different. All it makes us is innately beautiful, innately here to co-create a beautiful existence. Maybe that's high in the pie thinking. Maybe it is. But I'd rather move away from this, from rough waters to calm waters. Thank you very much. I'd rather do that. And the strength card, yeah, it's going to take massive strength. But in the religious times, I grew up very religious. My parents raised me that way. I'm not so much anymore. I think of myself as spiritual. But let's look at a teaching here for a moment. Even Jesus at the well, the woman at the well parable, she was at the well and people were stoning her, saying she was a prostitute and a this and a that and the other. And he went to her side and picked her up and said, ye who is without sin, be the one to cast the first stone. It's just a story. It's just a parable. But I am telling you, When you point a finger at someone else, you point a finger at yourself. And I am done pointing fingers at myself. And if I'm done pointing fingers at myself, then that means I've got to be done pointing fingers at every other person too. Exactly. Exactly. I'm going to pull a couple more cards here for you, Ange. Love is not about you are right and you are wrong. Love is about trusting. Here, I can't even believe this. Choosing the path that you're passionate about, yes, for whatever reason it is, and you feel called to do it, but not holding judgment on people who don't choose your path. Hangman Melody, asking for clarity about which path we're supposed to choose. What are we supposed to do? I believe that we're all here to co-create, sprinkle a little magic in the world, to make our own space, to have the world know we've been here. Do you know how many times I've actually had shed a tear when my daughter has said something to my grandson that I said to them as a parent? And I'm like, that is something that will be forever more said simply because I lived, because I said that word. If that's not enough in this world to take you to a place of why you're here and your legacy in this lifetime, I don't know what is. Your legacy as to why you're here and in this lifetime, the truth rising up together as a one. I'm like, man, people don't want to get me started about talking about aliens and shit, because I'll sit them there and tell them that, like, yeah, I'm just saying. Do I believe there's aliens? I think we'd be daft not to think that we're the only people on the universal universe that is the universes. But then again, that's just a conversation. Have I known for quite some time that we've all come from a place that is different? Yeah, probably since my age of 4 years old, actually. It's not about knowing where we've been. I know that in astrology, they look back to see the things that are going to occur similar down the line, which is true. There is a certain amount of rerun, I would like to say, when the planets come back around, but they still come back around in different conjunction to each other and different hard aspects and all these types of things. But the reality of the scenario is we are here to get closer to what it's like to be human and to discover what it's like to actually think of the non-physical people that have passed away, that are there, can move where they want just with thought, can do whatever, they're every moment, they're just energy. They're not even like a, do they even have human form? Do you see what I'm saying? Choosing to come down here, so excited to feel what it's like to get a finger cut, to feel what it's like to cry, to have the ability to cry, because on the other side, all is well. You see. So how blessed should we feel amongst all of the so-called pain? How blessed should we feel? There is truth coming out about alliances. There is truth coming out about two higher ups. Here's my world theory for you for the next, could resonate up to a year. Two higher ups being brought together by the divine to fight one solid truth. They're going to have to pick a path together, and it's not going to be an easy situation, because what's coming down from the heavens is more than anyone could have imagined. Third-party intervention. from a universe that is not our universe. Third-party truths from a universe that is not our universe, that have been here already and vanquished long ago. Looking at how to build the new on our planet, moving away from rough waters to calm waters, getting ourselves out of the mental bullshit fuckery, being tied to scenarios and situations that are so small that we have made so big. Trying to find love or be love. I don't know if Zoe is still in this room right now, but I'm telling you, her answer to her question is to be love. Be love. The fact that all of this is going on in the world right now and we are here, some people would call it a pandemic. Some people would call it a many things. Let's go with that. Take it how it resonates. The fact that we are here and alive in physical bodies right now, being in this energy, tells you what you thought you were ready for before you chose to get here. And what it is you're going to create. Head over heart decisions, choosing logic and reason to reason the emotions. This is what we've all been taught in this era that we live, to work, make a pension, get your money, do your thing. After that, then you're good and it's gone. Well, that's all changing, and we all know that working at home, working online, all these sorts of things is becoming a massive way for people to better their lives and not have so many struggles. The question is, why is the truth so hard to take over the past? Because it's not known to us. The future is not known to us per se. The future is not known to us, and the divine is doing a lot of work right now with our emotional body to help us get to a place of more higher understanding. Do you feel that the Palladians, for instance, would sit there and go, oh my gosh, the world is coming to an end. Oh my gosh, run, Forrest, run. You see what I'm saying? Do you think they would be that? Or would they say, you guys should be so excited about the changes that are happening for you right now on your planet? You need to get into joy. You need to have fun. You need to love each other. You need to support each other. That's exactly what they'd be saying. So how is it that realm of people can look on our situation so differently than all of us see it? Whenever I talk to somebody about these things, I say, oh, I'm excited. I'm so excited about the beauty that's about to unfold. I'm so excited. Do I think it might be painful for us to get past ourselves? Yes. Do I think there's people in the world that are going to do painful things? Yes, I do. I absolutely do. Can I explain it? No, I don't. I can't explain it. Do I want to? Nope, I don't want to explain it either. It's so much nicer. It's so much more beautiful to walk in faith and trust that the divine is going to have us and that we'll know what choice to make at any given moment based on the divine's direction. Trusting in the divine in these perilous times, as some might say, is all of the light there truly is. Dearest you, selfless giving is an elixir so sweet and life-giving and amazing that it should be customary for everyday living. Right now, generosity is being asked of you. Let go of a debt, release an obligation, or do a solid kindness for someone for no other reason than as an exercise of the heart. You will be surprised how quickly a generous heart is repaid. We know it often doesn't happen in the intimate exchange, so temper your expectations. Know that life has an uncanny way of sending miracles, seemingly unrelated to your kindness, yet interconnected in magical ways. The more you act from generosity, the bigger your heart grows, and the more love and abundance you will experience. We also know that someone could be entering your life with a generous offer for you. Take it and trust it. Trust you are worthy and deserving of it. You have to receive, not just give. We love you so much over here. I love you guys so much over here. I hope that in any way, shape, or form this has helped you. And face whatever you're facing. Understand that you don't face it alone. We're all here on the planet doing our thing. And whenever you come to a circumstance, sometimes choosing love is to stand up and fight. It depends on what a person feels for them. Sometimes choosing love looks completely different than what another person might do to choose love. But in any circumstance, it's not our place to judge how people love. That's the divine's work. I love you guys. I hope you have a beautiful week. I'll probably be on sometime, I'd say around Tuesday maybe, to do another live, have a chit chat session with all y'all. Much love and blessings. Mwah. Take care. You're very welcome.